Yo, YouTube, what up, what up? Hey, man, we live today. It's Sunday. Let's see what it is. What up, what up? How everybody feeling? If you just tuning on, say what's up, man. Let me know where you tuning in from. What up, Will? What up, William? What up, Ron? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? What up, Gerald? How everybody doing today? How was y'all weekend? Let's start with that. How's everybody doing? What up, Marley? What up, Shally? What up, JT? Yeah. Hey, look, man, it's Sunday. Sunday, we got a watch list popping off. What up, QTZ? QTZ in the building. Hey, we got some good stuff we about to talk about today. We going into a new week, and we have a jam-packed week. All right, so we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to dissect to understand, man. So yeah, I'm excited for today. I'm excited for this live. Yeah, what y'all do this weekend? What did y'all do this weekend? Hey, if you just tuning in, man, be sure to like this video too. All right, do me a favor, like this video. Let's get this video to 100 likes. All right, this is gonna be a fire live, and I got a lot of great stuff to bring to you guys. All right, so like this video. What up, Jay? Been tapping in. Al Brooks all weekend learning about price action. Okay, okay. Hey, price action is what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Price action is powerful. It's important to understand. All right, price action is gonna let you know where the buyers are going and where they're leaving from. All right, so what's up, Moneybag Jeff? What up? All right, so let's get started, man. Let's get started. So look, we got this week is gonna be packed. All right, this week is gonna be packed. Now, before we get started, I want to ask you guys, if you had to give yourself a grade on your trading last week, what would you grade yourself? A, B, C, D, or F? All right. What's up, Gigi? What up, Fleetwood? If you had to grade yourself on your performance last week, what would your grade be? Let's start with that, all right? Because we're gonna reverse engineer a couple things, all right? But I want you to grade yourself. All right. If you had to grade yourself on your performance last week, drop it in the chat. What grade would you give yourself? All right. What grade would you give yourself? All right. Let's see. What grade would you give yourself? Because it's important to understand that in order to continue to ascend, you got to be able to like know where you stand. All right. So Jeff said C. William said I was binge watching your videos going back to December. That's what's up. Hey, shout out to that, Will. For real. I got a lot of stuff in there. Jeffrey said C plus, D, C minus. Okay, okay. Now tell me what you're working on this week. All right. What are you gonna work on this week? Based on the grade that you've given yourself, what are you gonna work on this week that you know you need to work on? All right. Drop that in the chat. What do you need to work on? All right, what are you working on this week? And then we're gonna get into it. All right. I like to make sure I make these lives interactive. All right. I want to make these lives interactive. I don't want to just, give you 3 stocks I'm looking at real quick and that's it. I want to pour into you guys, right? I want to pour into you guys and I want to help you guys really like get to that next level mentally. All right. So we got a lot of C's. What up, Swift 22nd? We got a lot of C's and we got 1 B and we got a D in there too. All right, so we're gonna get better today, and I'm gonna give y'all what I'm looking at this week. We're gonna talk about the market. We're gonna analyze stocks and stuff like that. But I really wanna lock in. All right. So if you're just tuning in, man, say what's up. Let me know where you tuning in from, and also be sure to like this video. All right. So we got reducing greed, not chasing trades, honor my stop loss and trading strategy. All right. What up, Best Beezy? What's up, Josh? New to the trading, new to this channel. Okay, okay. What's up, Josh? All right, cool. A C. All right, better entries. Working on stop losses, also meaning entries. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so we gonna hone into that today. All right, as we talk about the market. All right, because for me to be able to give you value today, I got to understand that. All right. So I'm reading the room right now and really trying to understand where you guys is at so I could make this live as impactful as possible. All right. On one trade, I didn't respect my stop loss. I lost the most. Exactly. All right, cool. All right, so greed for sure. Okay, all right, cool. So last week, JT said rules have fun, not lose money trading 3 stocks. Only enter on breakouts after market direction is formed. Okay, no direction, no trade. Trade the size that I have smaller position. All right, cool. All right, so we got last week Friday was a crazy trading day. Last week was pretty crazy. Number 47, he didn't do too many crazy things, which is a good thing. All right. Now this week is very packed. All right, so let's go over the week real quick. All right, as I want to do like a week overview kind of thing. Okay, so let's look at a weekly overview real quick. All right, so we're gonna go right here. Let's do this. All right, so we got a weekly overview. All right, so first things first, we got where we got right here. All right, so we got earnings this week. All right, so this week we got Palantir. All eyes is gonna be on Palantir after market close. On Friday we got HIMS. On Monday as well. We got Celsius, D-Dog. These are 2 big stocks that people be trading as well. We got Tempest. We got SMCI, and then we got AMD on Tuesday as well. We got Uber on Wednesday. Okay, and then we got Carvana. That's a big one. We got ARM. They're in the chip space as well. We got Hut 8 on Thursday, and then we got Shopify as well on Thursday as well. All right, before market open. Okay, and we got SoundHound. That's going to be a good one too. All right, we got Mar and we got Coinbase as well. Mar and Coinbase are both in the crypto sector. And then Hut 8 is in the crypto sector too. So we got 3 cryptos reporting, and we got Affirm as well. They're probably going to drop after earnings, honestly. But we going to see. All right, so first thing, so that's what we got with the market. That's what we got with earnings, okay? Now, let's look at the SPY, and let's start to really understand what's going on in the market, all right? So I'm pulling up my charts right now if we're looking at the SPY. Okay, what up, trees? What up, trees? Oh, and here's another thing too, y'all. We got 3 stock challenge, okay? We got the 3 stock challenge. Now this 3 stock challenge, I'm day trading the same 3 stocks all month, okay? Every single day, I'm only trading Google, MU, or Baba. That's the only stocks that I'm trading all month, day trading, okay? What this is going to do is this is going to help you understand how to simplify your trading, okay? And it's going to make everything a lot easier and a lot simpler for you, all right? So the 3 stock challenge, if you have not already, drop the 3 stocks that you're focusing on this month in the chat, all right? If you're in the Discord, be sure to share that in the chat as well, all right? If you're not in the Discord, I got something for you. We now have a 7-day free trial, okay? So if you're not in the Discord, you can join the Discord for 7 days for free, all right, before you start to pay. So if you're not in the Discord, be sure to join the Discord, join the 7-day free trial, and then see if you like it, all right? What up, Travis? What up, Veronica? So let's go to the SPY and let's really look at what's going on, all right? All right, so let's go to the SPY. So y'all see my watch list right here? So literally, I have the SPY and the QQQ because that's the market, right? It's the NASDAQ and it's the SPY. And then I got my 3 stocks that I'm trading. I don't have no other stocks on my watch list for May. I created a May watch list, right? So I could only be focusing on these 3 stocks. So I don't know what any of these other stocks are doing, all right? So here we go. So we got SPY right here. So SPY on Friday, it just touched this level right here, okay? So you see this level right here? That is 567.55. So here's what could happen. Let's go to the weekly real quick though. If we go to the weekly, we're under here, right? We're under this level. So tomorrow and this week, we could either reject off of here and come down, or if we get above this level right here, then we could come up, right? And then we could come and test 576. All right. Now that's on a weekly. Now, if we go to the daily time frame, we got 571. All right. So we got two levels right here, okay? For the SPY. If you're trading a SPY, this is for you. All right. I'm not trading a SPY this week at all, but I'm giving you levels for the market. So we got 571.07. That's first resistance right there. Okay. So 571.07. Boom. 5 resistance 1. 571.07. Okay. That's the first level. And then the next resistance level is 576.34. Okay. Resistance 2. All right. 576.74. All right. This is the next resistance level right here. Now, but look, we did not close above 567.56. So that's going to be the resistance tomorrow. All right. So we got 567.56. So 567.56. All right. And right here, I'm going to put immediate resistance. Okay. Boom. Now, we could gap up above this level tomorrow. If we gap up above this level, then it needs to hold this level for us to go up here. All right. If we don't hold and we fail, then we coming right back down. Okay. Now, note this: we got a gap between 557 and 556. Small gap. So we could, if we open below 567, if we open below here, then we could come down here and then bounce up. All right, because it has to fill this gap. So that's a potential, or we could come down to the 200 EMA. All right, I'm just giving y'all scenarios. All right, so this is where we're at with the SPY. Okay, I'm not the biggest fan of the SPY, but that's where we're at with the SPY right there. Okay, so that's where we're at with the SPY. If you're trading the SPY and you've been taking some L's, I want you to understand that it's not time to keep trading the SPY. The SPY, this is how I look at the SPY. The SPY has 500 personalities, right? Is it easier to deal with 500 people or one person? In my opinion, it's easier to deal with one person. That's why I like individual stocks, okay? That's why I like individual stocks. So, Wilt the Fee, we got MU, SMCI, and Snap. What made you choose Snapchat? That's an interesting pick. Palantir, AMD, and Baba, Houdini, Hut 8, NVIDIA, Hood, NVIDIA, Amazon, Polina, Tesla, Pops, Baba, Palantir, Tempest, and Hims. Okay. SPY will make you a smoothie. I'm good. I learned my lesson. All right, cool. So, yeah, I'm not telling people don't trade SPY, but if you've taken L's, I need you to understand why you're taking L's with SPY, because it's an index. And then most of the time you're trading same day, 0-day expirations, right? I made a video about this on Saturday, which was yesterday. Those 0-day expirations, they move a lot faster. So yeah, you could make a lot of money with SPY, but you could also lose a lot of money very quickly with SPY simply because the contracts are 0-day to expiration. All right. So I don't recommend trading SPY, especially as a newbie, because yeah, you can make money with them. But just as fast as you can make the money, you can lose the money. All right? So I want you to understand that right there. I really, really, really want you to understand that, okay? So we just talked about the SPY. Now, to this week also, we got FOMC. This is going to be a very, very, very big week, all right? A very, very big week because we have FOMC, and we're going to know is the interest rates going up, getting held, or going down, okay? Now, if the interest rates are going up, if they increase interest rates, which I don't think they're going to increase interest rates. If they increase them, though, then the market going down. If they drop interest rates, the market is going to shoot up. And if they hold them, the market will probably go down a little bit. All right, so we're going to see. But FOMC is on Wednesday. All right, so there might be a little bit of choppiness tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday morning. All right, so first things first, I want y'all to be careful this week trading. Okay, you may want to be a little bit, size a little bit lightly on Tuesday or Wednesday morning, okay? Because you don't know what's going to happen with FOMC. There might be a lot of fake outs, right? So that's what we got. So we got FOMC. This week is a monumental week for trading, for the economy, for the stock market, for everything. Jerome Powell and Warren Buffett and Trump, they've been at odds for some time now. They've been going back and forth. And then we got the treasury bonds too, China and Japan, that, we got that on the back end. So it's really important to understand what's going to happen on Wednesday. All right. I'm not in any swings right now because I'm waiting to see. I don't want FOMC or leading up to FOMC to mess up my swings. So I'm waiting until after Wednesday to see the direction of the market. All right. I'm waiting to see what the direction of the market is. So it's like everybody wants to trade. Everybody wants to make money trading, but nobody wants to be patient. Nobody wants to be patient and allow things to develop. All right. This whole year has been very interesting, and they've been kind of pulling us along. Right. Nobody knows the actual direction of the market right now. This could be a relief bounce. Okay. We could be in a little rally right now, but it could be a relief bounce, and then it could be coming back down. All right. So we don't know yet. So I'm being real patient right now. I'm waiting until Wednesday to see what's going on. All right. So yeah. So now I'm going to give y'all my 3 stocks that I'm looking at, and then I'm going to do my thing with this month and also this week. All right. So I said the 3 stocks challenge. So I'm going to give y'all my analysis of my 3 stocks, what I'm looking at. All right. This is the first full week of the month as well. So let's make sure we have a great week. All right. Wilt to the fee. Are you going to be trading Snap all month or only this week? Because the 3 stock challenge is for this month. All right. I want to be very clear. Everybody think that they gotta find 10 different stocks every week and stuff like that. And this ain't no shade to you, Will, to the fee. But if you lock in on 3 stocks for one whole month for 30 days straight, you can increase your trading profits, results, and everything simply because you're just focusing on 3 and you're simplifying your whole process. All right. So I'm gonna give y'all mine and what I'm looking at this week and where we at with the levels. All right. If you're watching this and you have not, do me a favor, let me know where you're tuning in from, and also be sure to like this video. All right. So we about to get into it. Now, my first one that I'm looking at and we're gonna analyze is gonna be Google. Now, last week, Google just broke a key level. Okay, a key level. Now, what I do with my charts is when I chart out my stuff, you're gonna notice that I have multiple different types of lines. Okay. Oh, it's a leap. Okay. MU and SMCI. Okay, cool. And those are both in the same space. So that's cool. So yeah, can you talk about what made you go with those 3 stocks, the thought process behind it? So when I look back at my biggest earners, the stocks over the last 45 days that I was making the most money with, it was those 3. And Google, so we got Google. Google is a tech stock, so I know that they're in the SPY, right? But then you got MU, they're in the chip sector, okay? And then we got Alibaba, they're not in the S&P 500. So basically, Baba don't play by the same rules that a Google is going to play by because it's not in the S&P 500. So Alibaba, I like how it moves. All of these contracts, all of these stocks, they all have good premiums. So they're between like 150 and $300 on their contracts. And what I like to do is, this is my philosophy, right? I don't care about trading stocks that have contracts that are $1,000, $2,000. Let me tell you why. Because when I started trading a year ago and some change, I used to think that the more expensive the contract, the more money I was gonna make, right? Now let me break this down for you. Now, because I have money in my account, right? So let's say let's say I'm doing $2,000 per trade, right? All right, cool, that's $2,000. Now, if I trade a stock like Meta or Netflix, those stocks are gonna be, those contracts are gonna be about 1,000, 1,200, right? So I may only be able to do 2 contracts, right? But if one contract is $1,300, then if I get down and I have to take an L at 10%, then that's $130, right? But what if I get down 15%? That's a little bit more, right? That's like 180, 190, okay? So my thought process behind it is I like stocks that are cheaper on the premium side, because if I get 5 contracts of a stock that is $150, that is $750, right? So follow me. That's $750. Now, if I catch big moves with these stocks, I can still make the money that I was gonna make with the more expensive contracts, but I'm mitigating my risk, okay? Because it's not about how expensive the contracts are, it's about how much return you can get for the money that you put out. And so when I was trading Meta and when I was trading Tesla, right, the contracts were in the thousands. And yes, I could get those contracts, but if the play goes south, I'm gonna end up losing more money. So I can control how much I lose a lot easier, and I can get more contracts with Google, with Baba, with MU, and I could leave my runners and let them run and collect another 10 to 15 to 20% in that trade. Okay, so I wanted to get a tech stock, a chip stock, and then a stock that was not inside of the S&P 500. And I look back on the last 45 days, what is the stocks that I was making the most money with? It was these 3 stocks. So I said, I'm not going to switch it up, right? I'm already familiar with these stocks. I'm already familiar with how these stocks move. Let me double down on these stocks and let me get better with these stocks and let me focus on these stocks for the month of May, right? So if that makes sense, let me know. That was my thinking with that. These stocks, they don't move jagged. You know how some stocks, they move like a robot and they be glitching and stuff like that? These stocks don't move that way. And so I like how they move. They glide, they're easy, they're smooth, right? And they're in the spaces that I want to play in, that I want to trade in, but they're not as expensive as some of the big players. Okay? So yeah. So that's why I decided to choose those. Yeah. Meta's definitely a good leap play. A lot of stocks right now are good leap plays. They were really good leap plays about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, right? But now let's go to my first play for the week and let's look at Google, all right? So let's look at Google right here. So we got Google right here. All right, so let's look at it. Let's look at it on a weekly first. So before I go into it, I'm gonna give you my lines, okay? So this line right here, so my orange lines, well, no, my green lines, these are levels on the weekly time frame, okay? These are on the weekly time frame. These orange lines, these are levels that I charted off of the daily time frame, okay? And then these dotted lines are levels that I charted off of the 30-minute or the hourly time frame. Anything below the daily time frame is these levels, is the dotted lines right here. So I wanted to organize my levels because I'm like, okay, if I have a green level right here, right? So let's say I got a green level right here and I see that stock breaks above it. I know that is a weekly level and that is a very strong level. So it's more likely for me to get into a call and go a little bit heavier because it just closed above a weekly level, right? So That's why I did that there. So the green is my weekly, the orange is my daily, and then the dotted is my day trades, okay? My day trading levels. So we got Google right here. So Google just, it just came right here, okay? And it just closed above this daily level, all right? So this is 163.31 on a daily time frame, all right? I got this level off the daily. Now, this green candle right here is a bullish engulfing, right? So right here, we got a bullish engulfing, all right? So we got that bullish engulfing right here, okay? So this green candle engulfed this red candle. So that is an engulfing. And it did the same thing a week later, right? So look what happened. We had a bullish engulfing, and then we had a red candle. Now we got another bullish engulfing. And so then we got a green candle. And so, so we got this level right here at 166.15, okay? So we got resistance at 166.15. All right. That's resistance right there. Now, so I'm looking for Google to test bare minimum tomorrow or Tuesday. Google is going to test 166.15. All right. It's going to come here because look what it just did. All right. Now, if we go above that, the next level is going to be 167.36. All right. EMA, it's like a red light. All right. This 50 EMA is a very strong level right here, okay? So then we got 167.36, all right? Now, the next level would be right here at 169.42, all right? So basically 170, all right? So I think that Google could come up to 170, but we got to, break through a couple levels first. But we got right here at 166.15. And you see that it closed at 164.03. So Google support for tomorrow, depending on where it opens up at, is going to be 163.31. All right. So I'm going to put that there. Support is 163.31. Okay. So that's support for tomorrow. Now, if Google opens up above 163.31 and it holds, then it should be going up to, it's going to go up to at least 165.07, and then it'll go up to 166.15. Okay? So 163.31 is your support for Google tomorrow. All right? So pay attention where it opens up. If Google opens up below 163.31, then it has to break through 163.31. And then once you see it break above there and close above there and hold, then it's going to be going to 165.07. All right. When we go to the daily time frame, okay, we see same thing, right? These levels are right here. Okay, just look a little bit different. So the level is still the same, one right here, 166.15. But it just look a little different. It's above the 50 EMA on a daily, but not the weekly, okay? So we got to get there above the weekly, and that weekly level was what it was, that 167, whatever it was, right? But this is on a daily. And on a daily, the 200 EMA is sitting at 168.64, okay? So if we get above 168.64 on a daily time frame, then we come into 175, right? We definitely gonna come to 175, and then we could be like, starting to head back to the 200s. All right. Now, if we open up below 163.31 and we try to come there and we reject, then we could be coming down. All right. Now, let's look at the downside. So it filled these gaps right here. But we got a gap down here, all right? We got a gap down here from 152 to 153.81, so about $1.50 gap that has to be filled at some point, okay? So is Google gonna come down there? I don't know yet. It could, but I don't know, right? We're going to see. But if it rejects off of here, if it opens up below 163 and it rejects off of there, then we could see Google come back down to like 161, and then potentially like test this 9 EMA like 160, 159. All right, 159.50, 160. Okay, but these are your current levels based off of where things are at right now with Google. All right, so let me know if that makes sense for Google. All right, let me know if that makes sense for Google. Money May, yep. What up, Antonio? Weekly, longer time frame, stronger levels. Yep, exactly. The weekly time frame has stronger levels, right? So if you see the stock break above a level that you charted off the weekly, that's way stronger. Okay, and I'm gonna show y'all a good example of that. But stocks just opened up at after hours, so they just opened up, and so right now Google is sitting at 163.01. Okay, so Google is below the 163.31. Okay, so depending on where it opens up tomorrow, that could be resistance or it could be support. All right, so keep that in mind. All right, if you're just tuning in, say what's up in the comments. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If you have not, let me know where you're tuning in from. And then also be sure to like this video. All right, like this video. I'm giving you guys legit levels, okay? Don't nobody do this on YouTube for the free. All right, don't understand what I'm saying. Nobody is giving real levels. They just may tell you this stock is gonna blow, but they ain't giving you levels. So be sure to like this video, all right, if you want me to keep doing this stuff. All right. So yeah, and then if you want to join the Discord, we got a 7-day trial, so you could join the Discord for 7 days for free to see if you want to trade with us. Okay, so be sure to join the Discord and join the 7-day trial. All right. So yeah, so that's where Google is at right now. It's at 163.01. Okay. Right now it jumped up to 163.25. So we're gonna see where Google opens up tomorrow, but I just gave y'all the levels for Google tomorrow. All right. So if you learn how to play these levels, you could go and make however much money that you want to make. All right. So understand the power of the levels. All right. Now my next stock that I'm looking at and that I'm looking to play is going to be let me see. Who do I want to go with next? Let's analyze I'm gonna analyze Micron. So let me pull them up real quick on my Robinhood. MU is gonna be right there. All right, cool. What up, Prince Rome, NYC? What part of NYC you said? Is it Brooklyn or is it Bronx? I think you said Brooklyn, but excuse me. I know how New Yorkers are. Y'all real, prideful about what borough y'all from. So, I don't want to disrespect the borough. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let me know what borough. But yeah, so my next stock is going to be Micron that I'm watching. All right, so let's look at Micron real quick. All right, so let's go to MU. All right, so let's go to MU. Okay, so let's look at it. All right, so check this out. So this is a daily level, and you can see that it just broke above it, right? It closed right above it. Now let's look at it on a 30-minute, so I can show y'all what I'm saying. So this level right here, 80.39, it broke above it on a daily time frame, right? Now this is a daily level. Now look what happened after the stock broke above the daily level, right? 80.39, it went all the way up to 81.69. All right, that's $1.20. That's a big move right there. You could have got rich off of this little move, right? If you traded this right here. So it broke above right here. So this is going to be your support for tomorrow, okay? As long as Micron opens up above this level right here. If it doesn't, then it's going to be resistance, okay? So let's go to the daily. All right. So for MU, and let's do this real quick. MU has a gap. It has to fill from 77 down to 77. So really not a big gap at all. It's like a 50-cent gap. But there is another gap right here from 72 to 70. All right. So we got a gap right here. Do this. So we got a big gap right here. It's going to have to fill at some point in time. All right. So that's a pretty big gap right there. So we got a gap right there. All right. All right, cool. So this gap has not been filled yet. So at some point, Micron is coming back down to $70. Feel what I'm saying? And if we go to the RSI, so it's not really overbought on the RSI at all yet. So we got some room to go to the upside. Let me look at Google real quick too. Google's not overbought on the RSI either. So yeah, we got some room to go. All right, to the upside if we keep going up. All right, so now we go back to the daily. Okay. All right, cool. So now we go back to the daily, right? So as you can see, we got this level right here. It closed above 80.40. Okay. So right now, your support is going to be 80.40. Okay. Your support is going to be 80.40. Now, you could say 81.66 is going to be resistance, and I'm going to change that to a dotted line. I mean a dashed line. And I'm going to change that to this color right here. All right. So support is 80.40 for right there. All right. And then we got this right here, 81.66. Okay. So we going to say resistance 81. All right. So it has to get above 81.66 tomorrow. If it goes above 81.66, then it's going to come and test this 82.81. All right. It's going to come and test this this 50 EMA right here. All right. And if it rejects off of there, then it's going to come back down to 80.40, or more so between 81.71 and 80.40. It could just come back down to 81.71, or it could come all the way back down to 80.40, right? If it rejects off of here, right here, okay? So if we go down to the, this right here, look, so anytime it's rejected off that 50 EMA, this candle right here rejected off of it. Let's look at another rejection from it. Hasn't really rejected off of it too much. This one kind of got in the middle. This one rejected off of it. Well, it was just, it gapped down under this level right here, and then it just had a sell off. So, so yeah, it hasn't really rejected off the 50 too hard or too many times, but look well, this is on a red day. So, so yeah, so we gonna see what happens when it comes to this 50 EMA right here. Okay. As you can see, this level is a strong level right here. This is on a weekly time frame level. Look what happened when the stock opened up below this weekly level right here. This is a weekly level, and look what happened. Opened up here at 82, came all the way down to 74. All right. Look at this level right here, okay? So if we're looking at the daily time frame, this is actually, all right, before I say anything, what is this, y'all? If y'all been watching my videos, you know what this is right here. What is this? Put it in the comments. What is this right here? What is this area? Let me know what this area is right here. Put it in the comments. What is this area right here? Put it in the comments. I know y'all know. Come on. What is this area right here? We are approaching a what? There we go. I see it. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Exactly. Exactly. All right. Supply zone. All right. So look. Let's just look at it. Okay. Let's do this. All right. So. Exactly. Yeah. Supply zone, demand zone. So this area is a demand zone because it bounced off and it went to the upside. But we're approaching a supply zone because we're coming from the downside to the upside. All right. So we're going into a supply zone. All right. So here's what we see. So MU is going to try to come up to test this 83.75 level. All right. 83.75 level. Sellers are sitting right here. All right. Sellers are sitting right here. If it's coming down, buyers are sitting right here. Okay. And so if it comes down and buyers buy in, then it goes right back up. And that's what you can see. Right. So we're coming right here. If we can get through this little range, so we got from 83.98 to $88, right? This is off the daily time frame. We could make it a little bit smaller. We could even say like right here, right? If it could make it above 86, 86.10, 86.04, right? If we could get above this range right here, then MU is going to blast off, okay? It's going to, because look, every time it came around this little range, look where it went to. It came down here, and then it blasted off. Came down here, and then blasted off. Came down here, blasted off, right? Came down here, blasted off. And then it finally came down here, and it broke through, and that's why it went from 83 all the way down to 62 because it was a demand zone, okay? This is a very strong zone right here. Y'all see what I'm saying? So if we can break through this area right here, it's $86, then MU could be going back up to like 104. Y'all feel what I'm saying? If that makes sense, let me know in the comments. This is life-changing information right here. So yeah, we got these ranges right here, but we're coming up to a very powerful supply zone. If we can get above $86, 86, 86.04, 86.01, then we're going to the moon. All right, we're going to go test this level right here at 104. Okay, because that's going to be the next like level based on the structure. All right. So we're coming up to a supply zone. Now look, if we come up to this supply zone and we start to reject off of it, then we could be coming down to this area right here again at 61, right? Because it's going to reject off of here. It's going to come back here or maybe like right here, 65, right? And because we got this gap right here, that potentially could happen. Y'all see what I'm saying? Because look what happened. This is a zone right here, y'all. But anytime we broke below this zone, look where we came to, 79. And then we was below the zone for quite some time before that. All right? And then we was above the zone. And then we went up, right, to 94 to 96. Okay? So this zone right here is very, very, very powerful. All right, so we in the supply, we entering the supply zone. If sellers step in, then it's coming back down. But if they get overwhelmed by the buyers and buyers push it through and it holds right there, then we gonna be coming up all the way up to here. All right, at least to here, right? And then we get above that, then we coming up to here, and then to the upside. Look at this. We got a gap right here, okay? So we got a gap right here from 83 to 86, and then we got another gap up here from 101 to 98. All right. So we got some upside opportunity with MU, and we got some downside opportunity with MU. Okay. So that I really like this chart. I really like the opportunity of this chart right here. And yeah, I like where this is going, if I'm being honest. All right. So let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense with MU, right? So I said 80.40 was a support, right? And we got and right now it's sitting at 80.17. So like I said, we got to see where these stocks open up at, but we got some motion. We got some real big opportunities. All right. That's the daily time frame that I was looking at. Okay. That's the daily time frame I was looking at. When I'm looking at these charts, over a period of like on Sundays and like looking at like where we could be going and what the big picture is, I'm looking at the daily and the weekly time frame. All right, because when you're only looking at the 30-minute time frame or the 15-minute time frame, that's like this, right? That's like me looking at the 5-minute and the 15-minute time frame only. That's like living in one neighborhood of your city and being like, I know the whole city. No. How can you know LA, but you only been living in South Central? How can you know LA, but you only been living in Cerritos, right? How can you know Atlanta, but you only been living in Norcross? How can you know New York, but you only been living in Staten Island, right? Like, that's how I look at the 15-minute time frame. That's how I look at the 5-minute time frame, right? If I want to know the whole city, I gotta experience the whole city. If I want to know New York for real, I want to go to Bronx. I want to go to Brooklyn. I want to go to Manhattan, Harlem, right? I want to go to Queens. I want to get a full experience, right? If you want to get the full experience, you got to go to the whole city to really understand. If I want to really get a good feel for Atlanta, I got to go to Atlanta. I want to go to College Park. I want to go to Decatur. I want to go to East Atlanta, right? I want to go to Gwinnett. So that's how I look at the time frames. Is don't just look at the 15-minute time frame. You're not going to get a big enough picture of where the market is going. But if you look at the daily and the weekly time frame, you're going to really start to understand what the market is doing and where it's going. Because if you look at the daily time frame like I just looked at, we see that we approaching a supply zone. So what does that mean? That means that MU is coming up to that supply zone. So I might swing MU until it gets to $85, $86 and then get out. And then if it gets above it and it holds, I might get back into swings and ride it up because I know where it's going now. But I was only going to be able to do that because I was looking at the daily and the weekly time frame. When you're trading, you got to be able to have a big picture of the market, and that's where the daily and the weekly time frame come into place, and the monthly time frame as well. But you can't sit here and be like, I know this city, when you ain't really experienced the whole city, right? How can you say that you know a whole city, but you ain't even experienced all parts of the city? You see what I'm saying? So that's how I like to look at it. That's how I like to look at it. That's how I look at the time frames, right? You want to broaden your time frames. And the beautiful part about it is when you understand how to read the charts, you can go look at multiple time frames and use the same analysis, right? You can do the same thing, right? Once you understand supply and demand, once you understand support and resistance, all these things are going to help you know how to maneuver and how to like move inside of the market. All right. So that's what we got with MU. We got Google and we got Micron. These are very detailed breakdowns and analyses of the actual of these actual stocks. All right. Pfizer beat or crush earnings with profits of 92 was a 2.26 beat with CEO raised outlook. Should be a V-shaped recovery with a 4.3 dividend that has a 3.24 billion. That's what's up. That's what's up, Michael. Give me a second, guys. I gotta get something to drink. All right. All right. So now we got Google. It's looking bullish, but I gave you levels for the downside as well. And we got MU, and we got some good stuff going on with MU as well. And then we got the last one that I'm gonna look at. And I'm gonna break down for you guys. All right. The last stock is gonna be Alibaba. All right. So let's look at Alibaba. All right, let's check this out. All right, boom. So look. Now, Alibaba is tricky because look at how many gaps this chart got. They're always gapping up and down, right? They're always gapping up and down. Look at this. This was a massive gap right here from 118 to 125, and then they filled the gap with a gap up, right? A couple gaps up. But as we see right here, we have a bull flag, okay? Boom. And then we got boom right here. And then we got right there, all right? So this is a bull flag, and then it broke out, right? Now, with Baba, we have, I would say this is the new support level, 123.84, or you could say 124.34, but I'm going to say 123.84, okay? So now I'm going to change this to, change this to orange. All right. So this is going to be the new daily level, right? So 123.89 is going to be support. All right. Let me go to Baba. Oh, wow. Baba is up in pre-market right now, or aftermarket right now, pretty high. So 128, it's at 128.09. All right, so right now Baba is at 128.09 right here. Baba is going to be going to 134. I was going to swing it on Friday, but it was over the weekend, so I didn't want to. Okay. So this is off the daily level right here. Baba is coming to 134.06. All right. So this will be a price target. Okay. This will be my price target for Baba, 134.06. Okay. Now, depending on where it opens up tomorrow, I would say the support would be, if it opens above 126.59, that'll be the support. So the support Support 126.59, and then its resistance would be 130.58. $30.58. All right. So this is what I would say with Alibaba. All right, and what its levels are. Okay, now that we kind of got a little understanding of what's going on. All right. So support is 126.59. Resistance is 130.64. Depends on where it opens up at. Right now, it's currently sitting at 127.88 right now. So we got to see what happens. It's sitting right here at 127.88. Okay, but if we break above here, 130.58, then we come in at 134.06. All right. Off the weekly, that's the next, the daily, that's the next level. Okay. Now, if we go to the weekly time frame, we can see that this is a strong level right here. But you could look at this one as a strong level on a weekly as well, 133.97, which is basically 134.07. And then right here, it closed on the weekly on the weekly time frame, it closed right under 126.58. So if Alibaba opens above 126.51, 126.58 tomorrow to start the week off, then it's coming up to 130. Okay, and then it could be coming up to 134, like I just said, right? But on a weekly time frame, it's this is a level, okay, 126.58. If it opens above it, it may come down below to test a little level, but it's probably not going to stay there long, and then it could really like come up to that 130, and then it could come up to that 134. All right, so I really might swing Alibaba as well. All right, because Alibaba is looking good as well. If I'm being honest, Alibaba is looking pretty good also. All right, let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense. Okay. And with these swing trades, like I've been very, very, very like risk off with swing trading because you don't really know what's gonna happen, right? Like technical analysis helps us figure out what's gonna happen and where the money is going to. But with Alibaba, the only way I would swing Alibaba like long term, like a couple months, is if it was like at like 105, 110. Okay. It did come down to 96 a couple weeks ago, right? On April 7th, it was at 97, and then it bounced off of there, off the 50 EMA, and then it bounced off, and now we sitting at 128. All right, so that would have been a nice swing then, but if I swung it right now, I would really be holding it like, a day or two, right? Because I see what the trends are. Because I see what the trends are with Alibaba, it gaps up and gaps down almost every day, right? So I would wait until it gapped down a couple times in order to like really like be convicted to get in a swing trade, because you just never know. But if I'm looking at let me look at the RSI real quick. It's not overbought yet, so I mean, it could come down a little bit, but I don't think it's going to like pull back heavily just yet, unless something happens crazy with FOMC on Wednesday. All right. Unless something crazy happens with FOMC on Wednesday. But if FOMC is like a dud and nothing happens and we're just still at a standstill, then Alibaba might, it might pump for a little bit longer before it has a pullback, right? Or it may touch this 130, and then it might reject, because that would be it filling a gap as I'm looking at the charts. So yeah, but I like day trading Alibaba, because Alibaba, it has some good moves. You know what I'm saying? Because Alibaba has all these gaps, it always has a gap to fill, right? And that's one reason why I like trading it, because it always has a gap to fill. All right, whether it's to the upside or it's to the downside, it always has a gap to fill. So that's why I like Alibaba. All right, so those are my 3 stocks and my breakdowns, and those are all the levels as well. All right, I gave y'all support and resistance for the SPY, for Google, for MU, and then also for Baba. All right, so I gave y'all 4 stocks that you could trade with, and I also gave you guys the levels right here on live. And these levels, you could take these levels to the bank with you. You could take these levels to the bank with you. All right. Michael said, must wait for Baba to dip back to 100, I feel. I mean, yeah, tomato, you know, like everybody's going to have their own, viewpoint of it all. I don't buy shares of Baba. I don't buy shares of them. I just like to trade them, right? I wouldn't get into a long dated call until they came around, like 100, like they was just at 97. But if I want to swing it overnight, I wouldn't be against that. It just because they're just broke out of this bull flag, so those technicals are there. But the way that they move is they gap up a lot. So they may gap up, and then they may consolidate for the day, right? So when you see that when there's a day that Alibaba doesn't gap up, they're about to make a big move, because they usually move by gapping up, right? And they always have a gap to fill. So if you want to day trade Alibaba, you need to make sure that you are charting it based off of the daily, so that you can see the gaps and you can see where the gaps are at. Because if you think you're gonna day trade Alibaba without knowing the gaps, you're gonna get faked out. Okay. So yeah. So Balanced Living said Mara, SoFi, and NIO. Okay. Mara is a good stock to trade, and it's cheap too. So SoFi is cheap as well, but sometimes SoFi don't really be moving. So yeah, and I haven't traded NIO yet. So that's what's up. Does anybody have any stocks? I'll do this for a couple minutes. Y'all have any stocks that y'all want to analyze? Y'all want me to analyze real quick? You want my take, my insight on? I'm entering into a trade off of the 15-minute time frame. If it's at the top of the hour or the middle of the hour, then I'll enter it off of the 15-minute and the 30-minute, because they're both lined up at the same time. But 9 times out of 10, I'm entering in my trades off of the 15-minute time frame. That other 5-8%, I may enter in off of the 5-minute time frame, but it has to be a really strong trend. Okay, it has to be a strong trend. Like if I get into a call to the upside, it has to be a strong trend for me to get in off of the 5-minute. All right. I like Crowd. We'll do Crowd and Hood because I like CrowdStrike. Actually, CrowdStrike they move. They are a big mover. But the only thing about Crowd is their spreads be wide a lot of the time. So I don't like day trading them too much. Like scalp trading, I don't like scalp trading them too much because they spreads be wide. So, but let's go look at Crowd real quick. Let's look at Crowd. And then we got Hood next. All right. We're going to go to CrowdStrike. This is my other. There we go. So CrowdStrike. On a daily time frame, let's look real quick. Ooh. Okay, so CrowdStrike just broke out of a double bottom, right? So you see, so y'all see, boom and boom, right? So these are two bottoms right here. So that's a double bottom. It broke out right here. It's about to be overbought on the RSI. So we got this level right here, 455. 455. And it's at 442. Well, 440. We have a gap. Well, it's a very small gap. Well, it's not even really a gap because it got filled. So you can scratch that. It looked like it at first. But yeah, off the daily time frame, I mean, it looks like it could go to 455 and it's going to meet some resistance right here. So I would say let's look at where it's at in after hours right now. So right now, CrowdStrike is at 437. So right now, currently, CrowdStrike is at 437, about right here. So it looked like it's almost ready for a reversal. So it does have a gap to fill right here, from here down to here. So it does have a gap to fill to the downside. Okay, let me turn on my Bollinger Bands real quick. Okay, and then, all right. Okay. So, yeah, yeah. Crowd is almost ready to reverse. It's almost ready to reverse. So it could come up to about right here, maybe a little bit higher. And then we're going to see some reversal action, and it is going to come back down a little bit. So it'll probably come down. If it gets up to like 460, let's say 455, it'll probably come down to around like 395, 420, somewhere around here. All right. So yeah, but it just blasted off from this double bottom. So yeah, it's primed for it's about to reverse. I'm pretty confident in that one right there. All right, and then let's go to hood. Let me make sure y'all ain't got no questions about crowd real quick. Crowd. All right, cool. And then let's look at Robinhood. Let's look at hood. All right. So Robinhood. All right. So we got this level. Well, let's look at the weekly real quick. So the weekly. All right, cool. So it's above the VWAP right here on the weekly. It just tested off of it a little bit lower. So it's coming back up. So we got this level right here. It's 54.88. And then obviously we got this right here. Boom. All right. So all right. So then we got so this is a bullish engulfing on a weekly. Go to the daily. All right, yeah. So Robinhood needs to get above $50. Well, really now this is 52, but it needs to get above last week. So let's say 51.18. All right. So Robinhood needs to get above here, but it really needs to get above 54.68. Okay. Robinhood really needs to get above 54.68. Okay. Immediately, 5118. So write this down. Is 5118. All right, 5118. And then 5468. Okay. All right. Now, the next thing with hood is if we go to the hourly, we're gonna go to the hourly. So you see how I said immediate resistance is 5118, right? But depending on where it opens up tomorrow, we're gonna see if it has an immediate. Let me see where it's opening, where it's at right now. Right now, hood is currently at 4780, right? And it closed at 4859. So right now, hood is at like, it says 4780. So tomorrow, let me give you all some more levels. We got 50, 5006, and then we got 49, 46, right here too. But we at 40, right now we at 4780, I said. 4780, yeah. So let's go a little lower. 47, 4830. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so hood got to get above these levels right here. So we got right here at 4830. Hood got to get above 4830. And then it got to get above right here at 50 bucks, 5006. All right. And then you could even say 49.49, but that's only 50 cents above this $50 level right here. So it really got to get above right here at 48.30 first. So if it opens below 48.30, then you know that the next level is right here. All right, which is gonna be 50 bucks. It got to get above there. So it could open right here and then come up here and it could reject, or it could go up. All right. If it breaks through here, then it's gonna come up to right here at $50 and 51.18. All right, and if we could get above 51.18, then we could really start to see it make a run to that $55 level. All right, but if it come right here, then it could get rejected. All right, so yeah, so that's what I would say. That's what I would say for Robinhood. All right. How do you do your resistance? I do it off of the weekly and then the daily time frame. That's how I do my resistance. Okay, so yeah. So that's how we get down, man. That's how we get down. All right. I went over SPY, my 3 stocks for the whole month: Google, MU, and Alibaba. We went in. If you score, we got a 7-day trial. And yeah, y'all. Y'all got any other questions? Y'all got any other questions going into the week that y'all may want to ask or anything like that? Or are y'all good? Because I want to see, man, I really want to see everybody win, y'all. I really want to see everybody win. I'm being honest. That's why I show up on YouTube every day, because when I started trading, it wasn't no kind of YouTube channel like this, right? It was a whole bunch of people, and they just wanted to give you the surface level stuff, and they just wanted you to buy a $10,000 package. But I really want to see people win. So I just want to be able to give some life-changing information, right? That could change your life. in the stock market game, because I remember when the stock market used to seem so intimidating and so grandiose and so complex, you know. But once I started to get in the game, and once I started to understand the language, and once I started to decode it, I was like, okay, it's not as complicated as it seems. It's not as complex as it seems, you know? And so at the end of the day, I want to see everybody win, like for real. You know what I mean? So that's why I show up every day on YouTube. If you have not, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like this video. You know what I'm saying? Be sure to like this video, because every single day I'm coming to y'all with life-changing information. You know what I'm saying? So don't play no games with it. Yeah, and take this stuff seriously. All right? Take this stuff seriously. Gerald said, let's get it this week. Yeah. Nah, for sure, Gerald. Hey, I'm gonna start calling you G-Ball too. I see the nickname. So I'm gonna start calling you G-Ball. Where's the link to the Discord? Let me drop it in here real quick for you. Yeah, the Discord, y'all, it's only $40 a month, and we're doing a free trial. So, I mean, it's literally a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? Like, very, very, very affordable, but you're gonna get more than what you bargaining for sure. What do you base off resistance? Anywhere where you see a direction change in the trend is where I create a resistance or a support level. All right, so that's how I do my resistances. All right, so yeah, y'all. So yeah, join the Discord, like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I just invite all of y'all in to the world. You know what I'm saying? To the world of trading, to the Prosperity Collective, to my YouTube channel. I invite y'all in because I want to see you guys win. I want to see y'all grow. I want to see you blowing your account up, and I want to continue to just build wealth, with as many people as possible. Would tomorrow be a good day to trade Palantir or wait after earnings? I would say it depends on how much the contracts are, but also let me look at the contracts real quick. Let me see if it's showing anything. So right now, Palantir is at 124.85, and the options are $900. I wouldn't trade them, honestly, because that's very expensive for Palantir. This is also why you have 3 stocks, right? So any day that one of your stocks is kind of tripping, you ain't got to worry about it, right? You could just be like, you know what? I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to focus on my other ones. But right now, I see them contracts is at $900, $1,000. I wouldn't trade it. I would just wait until after earnings and then see what happens. So yeah, I wouldn't mess with it. I would just trade your other 2 stocks that you have and just lock in with those, because that's super expensive for a stock that's usually $200-$300 per share. I mean, per contract. You know what I'm saying? That's up there. So yeah, that's what I would do. At least their earnings is like on Monday, and you ain't gotta wait until like Thursday, right? So that's a good thing right there. But everything is already priced in, and so whether it goes up or whether it goes down, it's already going to be priced in. That's what the increased premiums are for, right? Because the increased volatility, the implied volatility is obviously increased because The stock market is expecting a big move from Palantir, whether it be up or down. So the implied volatility has increased. Anytime that the implied volatility has increased, then that means that the premiums are going to go up as well. All right. So, but at least it's tomorrow and it's only one day of your trading. So you ain't got to worry about it for throughout the whole week. That's another reason why I chose the stocks that I chose, because Alibaba has earnings the second week of May on the 13th, I believe, or the 15th. Let me double check real quick. But MU, they don't have earnings all month. They have earnings in June, like June 26th, I believe. But Alibaba's earnings is on, their earnings is on May. When is it? Let me go to my trading view. Alibaba's earnings is in 11 days. So what's today? The 4th? So it's on May 15th. Yeah. May 15th. So yeah. All right. So yeah, so that's what I would do. My main three stocks are IWM, XOM, and Walmart. Okay. What made you choose Walmart? Jagman Cam, I joined Discord and made back what the monthly cost was plus the annual fee would be to Discord. It is very informative. There you go. That's what's up, Jagman. What's your username inside of the Discord? So I'll shout you out tomorrow in the pre-market talk. What's your username in there? But he made his annual income, right? So let's see. How long you been in the Discord, Jagman? Let's do some math real quick. Calculator. So we got $40 a month, right? $40 a month. We times that by 12. That's $480. All right. So he's saying that he made more than $480 while being in Discord in what, a couple weeks, maybe, max, right? Because I haven't seen a Jag, man. But yeah, like, listen, we do this every single day. Every single day we trade. All right? Every single day we trade. We don't be playing them games. We day trade, we scalp trade, and we take maybe one. Oh, Cam, okay. Cam, okay. Nah, you made way more money than that, bro. Look, okay. Nah, you made way more money than that. You made like $800. Yeah, so he on week 3 and he made like $800. Yeah, that's my brother-in-law right there. I just didn't know what his YouTube name was. But yeah, he made $500 on Nvidia. He had his first $500 day like a week ago, right? So yeah. No, that's my brother-in-law right there. So yeah, no, Cam did his thing. Yeah, so he came in. It's been going on week 3, and he up almost $1,000 already. All right, and this is from nothing. So if you got $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in your account, we could flip that pretty quick. You know what I'm saying? You just got to follow the prompts and show up and do the work. You know what I'm saying? Gerald said, me too. I was up 250 on my first week. See? 250, first week. Jimenez, I learned so much from you. Thank you for everything. That's what's up, Jimenez. I know. Hey, shout out to Jimenez. You a silent killer, right? You a silent killer. You don't be saying much in the Discord, but oh yeah, I know that last name. Let me show y'all something. Check this out. Here we go. Yeah, look at this, y'all. We don't look. I'm not playing. I'm not like fabricating none of this. Look at this right here. Right? This is Jimenez. He said I'm 712 Jimenez on the Discord, right? This was on 5/2. This was on Friday. He said, all right, I snuck one more playing before the market closed. You guys have a beautiful weekend. But look what he did this week. The past week, he made 6 racks. 6 racks last week, all right? Off of Tesla, Tesla. But this was just in one day. This was just one day. All right. He went earlier in the day. He had showed he had made 5,000. Right. He said he only lost $1 all week. Look what he said. I'm clocked out for the week. Only took this week was $1. He only lost $1 the whole week. So look, at 12:08 p.m. he was up 5K on the week, and then he came back, and at 3:06, so a couple hours later, he made another $1,100, right? And that was this right here, these two plays right here. All right. So he made 6 racks last week, y'all. 6 racks last week. You feel me? We got killers in here, y'all. We got killers in here. Best Beezy. Look, he made $1,700 on Friday. Don't let this little $87 fool you. These add up. He made $1,700 on Friday. Look at Gigi. She said, I took some losses this week, but I'm grateful, right? She made $3,500 last week. $3,500 last week, right? Look, she hit the Google with us, the Tesla, JD, Palantir, Google, Palantir. And this was all on May 2nd. This was all on Friday. Y'all see this? This was all on Friday right here. So we got some killers up in here, y'all. Don't ever get it twisted. We got Popilla. He be doing his thing in here. Look at all these. Smack. What is it? 11%, 22%, 12%, 20%, 4%, 20%, right? We got Kai, 73% trade off of SPY, $700. 36% off of Roblox, $480. Right? I always say it's not about the dollar amount, it's about the percentage, right? If you go take $1,000 and you go to the bank, they cannot give you a 10% return in 20 minutes. If you take $1,000 and you put it in a trade and you get 10% in 5 minutes, that is a 10% return on your money in 5 minutes, all right? That's why trading is so powerful. And that's why it's important to understand how to really learn how to trade, because you can literally become your own bank and you could become your own financial institution, all right? You could become your own financial institution. So listen, I don't care about the dollar amount. I don't care if you sit here and you come in and you make $5, right? I don't care. You know why? Because that $5 is more money than what the bank can give you. And when you learn how to turn $100 into $110 and you do that over time, you're going to be becoming nasty with it. You're going to be able to print money. You're going to be able to build wealth, and you're going to be able to change your life. You see what I'm saying? Like, this stuff is powerful, y'all. This stuff is powerful. So I can't say it enough. Now is the time to really get locked in and really learn how to trade efficiently. Okay? Now is the time. If you are not trading, if you are not serious, now is the time to really get locked in and really get serious on trading, because this stuff could change your life. All right. We got people in Discord. They ain't been trading for 8 years. They've been trading for 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, a month and a half, or they got burnt somewhere else. They came here and now they doing their thing, right? Like, we got what you need. All you got to do is lock in and get focused and come tap in with us. All right. So that being said, I appreciate everybody's time, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. This is Sunday, right? We going into the market. We got FOMC on Wednesday. We got big earnings this week. So make sure y'all manage y'all risk. Make sure y'all trade accordingly. Make sure y'all do what y'all need to do. Make sure y'all manage y'all risk. And also make sure y'all set y'all stop losses. All right? Like I always say, make sure you get out of your head. Go get into this world, because your head is a dangerous place to live. All right? And also remember, the more you study, the less you worry. All right? I'm going to see y'all tomorrow's video. If you in a Discord, I'm going to see y'all first thing in the morning. All right. I'm going to holler at everybody, get some sleep, come tomorrow ready, and we going to kill the market this week. All right. I'm going to see everybody tomorrow. Peace.